Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Food Security Laboratory reviews in Muscat enhancing local and foreign investment in food security sectors in line with Oman Vision 2040. The Royal Academy of Management implements the National CEO Program with the participation of 35 executive leaders in the private sector. And the Sultanate of Oman heads towards becoming a regional hub for supplying ships with clean energy through ambitions to reduce carbon emissions. Those are the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The activities of Food Security Laboratory were launched in Muscat with the aim to enhance local and foreign investment in food security sectors to achieve Oman Vision 2040. The Food Security Laboratory will work on 5 pillars: the digital transformation, the strategic planning, the investment, the enablers, and the local content. The opening of the laboratory was held under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Saoud bin Hamoud Al-Habsi, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources. With the participation of 35 executive leaders in the private sector, the works of the 14th National CEO Program implemented by the Royal Academy of Management was launched today. The program focuses on building national leaders capable of creativity, innovation, and decision-making in various sectors. The program also aims to create economic future for the Sultanate with stable outlook at various levels. The executive leaders aspire to make fundamental change to work streams at the public and private sectors. It is noteworthy that the National CEO Program goes in line with the 5 years development plan, national strategies, and Oman Vision 2040. The 35 executive leaders will go outside the Sultanate in order to benefit from the international successful experiences which will be implemented in the Sultanate of Oman as part of the practical applications of the National CEO Program. The event, Jusur Oman Identity and Civilization, was held in Salalah, organized by the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs. The event focused on the components of the Omani identity through religion, language, and national characteristics. The event aimed to highlight the good values in the Omani society. It also included an exhibition that highlighted various aspects of the Omani civilization. The opening of the event was presided over by His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Saeed, Governor of Dhofar. The Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs, participated in the works of the 10th meeting of the Ministers of Endowment and Islamic Affairs at Gulf Cooperation Council countries held at the Qatari capital Doha. The meeting discussed a number of issues and topics, including the exchange of scientific research and experiences in the field of endowments between member states through interactive seminars via video conferencing. The meeting also discussed reviewing experiences in the field of Islamic affairs, holding a World Day for Endowments, and establishing a Gulf Scientific Observatory to highlight the true image of the Islam's tolerance. The Sultanate of Oman's delegation was led by His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Saeed Al-Ma'mari, Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs. The Sultanate of Oman is heading towards becoming a regional hub for supplying ships with clean energy while raising ambitions to reduce carbon emissions. The Ministry of Transport, Communications and Information Technology indicated that the number of electric vehicles has reached 1,500, explaining that carbon emissions from land transport amount to 20% of the total emissions in the Sultanate of Oman. It is worth mentioning that country is exerting great efforts to reach zero carbon neutrality by 2050. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth crowned the winners of the 4th edition of the Oman Speakers and Speak So I Can See You competitions. The winners of the first places from the 10 qualified children were announced, and 5 winners of the Oman's Peaks competition were honored. It is worth noting that such events aim to enhance the skills and culture of children in fields related to literature, as well as to motivate them to exert more efforts in the upcoming future. Vice Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis al-Raisi, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, received today in his office Vice Admiral Vinam Srinivas, Commander of the Southern Naval Region of the Republic of India, and his accompanying military delegation. During the meeting, cordial talks were exchanged and a number of topics of common interests were discussed. Rear Admiral Saif bin Nasser al-Rahbi, Commander of Royal Navy of Oman, received Vice Admiral Vinam Srinivas, Commander of the Southern Naval Region of the Republic of India, and his accompanying military delegation. During the meeting, they discussed the existing cooperation between the two sides in a number of military and naval fields and ways to enhance them. Vice Admiral Vinam Srinivas, Commander of the Southern Naval Region of the Republic of India, and his accompanying delegation visited the National Defense College at the Academy of Strategic and Defense Studies. The guest and the accompanying military delegation were briefed on the National Defense College and the strategic curriculum it offers, which aims to prepare national competencies capable of making strategic decisions at various levels. They also toured various facilities of the college and its academic halls. The Royal Army of Oman received today a new batch of citizens for military training and joining its units. The Chinese will undergo the basic military training programs as recruits after passing the stages of evaluation tests and medical and physical examinations. The Royal Air Force of Oman received a new batch of citizens after they passed the stages of evaluation and tests conducted for them in coordination with the Ministry of Labor. The Royal Air Force of Oman has harnessed all its expertise and capabilities of specialized human resources, administrative and health requirements, and means of transportation to provide the appropriate environment to achieve the speedy implementation of procedures for joining military service. Explosions could be seen over Lebanon's capital, Beirut, today as Israel intensified its bombardment of the south of the city and northern Gaza in its widening war. Israel is still battling Hamas in Gaza nearly a year after its October 7th attack and has opened a new front against Hezbollah in Lebanon, which has been trading fire with Israel along the border since the war in Gaza began. Israel has also vowed to strike Iran itself after it launched a ballistic missile attack on the country last week. Russia said that its troops has taken control of a settlement in the Donetsk region, while Ukraine hit a Russian military command post with missiles and rockets. In the daily report on its special military operation, the Russian Ministry of Defense said the Russian forces had struck Ukrainian military targets, including an electronic warfare station, anti-artillery radar, and ammunition depot. Russian forces continued to strike Ukrainian troops in the Kursk region yesterday, resulting in over 400 casualties, with more than 10 armored vehicles destroyed, according to the ministry. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces said that its forces had engaged Russian troops in multiple battles, with the most intense fighting in Pokrovsk. The European Union's tariff hikes on Chinese electric vehicles violate the rules of the World Trade Organization, but will not affect China's economic growth or its rising influence in the global market, said a Tajik economist. The European Commission announced Friday that it passed a vote to impose punitive tariffs on Chinese EVs, sparking criticism from several European countries and auto industry groups who warned the move could boomerang against the UA competitiveness. Drone footage showed damaged houses, debris, and cars today following deadly floods in the Bosnian village of Donja Jabaljankia. 13 people died in the area 70 kilometers southwest of the capital Sarajevo. The floods are the deadliest to hit the Balkan country in years. The floods follow an unprecedented summer drought, which caused many rivers and lakes to dry up and affected agriculture and the supply of water to urban areas throughout the Balkans and much of Europe. Meteorologists said extreme weather change can be attributed to climate change. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Food Security Laboratory reviews in Muscat enhancing local and foreign investment in food security sectors in line with Oman Vision 2040. The Royal Academy of Management implements the National CEO Program with the participation of 35 executive leaders in the private sector. And the Sultanate of Oman heads towards becoming a regional hub for supplying ships with clean energy through ambitions to reduce carbon emissions. With that, we come to the end of tonight's bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night, and until next time.